mortgage industry contracting, which it is, we've seen all the IPOs in the mortgage space. Their numbers didn't look fantastic. But what's growing in a contracting market is non-QM. Why don't we do more non-QM? You certainly should if you want the best pricing and the best service with the best company. Talk to the guys over at Oaktree. All you have to do is click this banner right over there. So remember how we told you that 600 loan officers in 42 states got busted for continuing education fraud? It's kind of a heavy-handed word, isn't it? Well, did you know that there was like one guy behind the whole thing? It's true. His name is Danny Yen. So Danny ran a California-based continuing education school called Real Estate Educational Services, or REIS. Turns out Danny and some of his family were taking classes for loan officers in exchange for compensation or giving loan officer class credit without requiring them to show up for classes. And REIS was offering online courses like a 3-hour one-on fair housing and discrimination laws. But see, they were only licensed to do these classes in person. Okay, so this is what I find kind of funny about this whole thing. Have you ever heard about a loan officer paying somebody else to sit through their online classes? I mean, honestly, I think more loan officers pay somebody else to do those online classes than don't do it. At least the top producers are paying other people to do their online classes because they've got the money and they simply don't have the time. Now, I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying this stuff happens a lot more than people think. Okay, so anyways, Danny has to pay $75,000. It was gonna be $3.4 million, so that's a pretty good cut and fine right there for Danny. REIS is forbidden to ever teach mortgage continuing education training again, and if they step out of line on anything, they're going to have to pay a fine of $15 million. And oh, yeah, one more thing, I almost forgot. Danny and the boys and girls over at REIS have agreed to help with any additional investigations of mortgage loan officers or mortgage companies who have yet to be punished for what they did. So this should perk up some ears of mortgage companies and loan officers across the country. Inflation, yes, inflation. It's here, it's big, it's at a 40-year high, and it's still growing. Did you know that gas right now is a full $1 over this time last year? And wait till Russia steamrolls over the Ukraine. Gas is gonna go way up. And of course, we know nobody is dumb enough to buy a car right now. Well, I mean, except for me, because dealer markups are absolutely insane. And did you know it costs 21% more to build a house now than it did this time last year? Get this, lumber alone right now as we sit here is adding a whopping $19,000 to each build, and builders are readily admitting that all of that added cost in wood is added dollar for dollar to the sales price of these new homes. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Because it's all those damn Canadian truck drivers, I tell you. You know that most all framing wood, it comes from Canada.
I lost my mind because I haven't slept in 5 days. Get out of my
And the thing is,
Get out of my
Anyways, here's a quote. These delivery delays are raising construction costs and pricing prospective buyers out of the market, so says the National Association of Home Builders chairman. So now new home builders are dealing with the higher cost of construction. That means homes are going to cost more money, and they're also dealing with higher interest rates, which of course makes those homes even more expensive. And it's for these reasons that home builder confidence is down for the second straight month. But here's your takeaway. Seriously, real estate agents out there, this might be a great time for you to have a meaningful conversation with your local new home subdivision and explain to them that they need to start paying you commissions again. Because understand this, when homes become more difficult to move, and they're going to be, builders start to pay real estate agents. And the harder they get to move, the more they're willing to pay. Remember back in 2008 when nobody was moving any houses, there were new home subdivisions that were selling houses with brand new 5 Series BMWs coming in the garage. That's one hell of a perk, and that's how hard houses were to sell. So anyways, I'm just saying, it's a great time to start picking up your commissions again. And finally, we told you yesterday how Zillow is putting together its super app that does everything on a transaction. Big whoopee. That's the big move that we learned from the earnings report, or at least that's one of the big moves. You see, Zillow believes the old P.T. Barnum quote still applies to real estate agent. That being, there's a sucker born every minute. Now, why do I say this? Well, because Zillow plans to go back to its roots. Their goal is to double their premier agent revenue by 2025. Get this, they think they can add an additional $1.5 billion billion to their bottom line, courtesy of real estate agents paying for leads, paying for laziness. I can't stress this enough, real estate agents. Don't do it. Just don't do it. See, they're still brokers, which makes Zillow still your direct competition. Further, the $3 billion that they plan on making off of you by 2025, they're just your commissions. That's it. Zillow is essentially saying that they believe they can bleed real estate agents of $3 million in commission on an annual basis. It's a really wild number. And unfortunately, they'll probably be able to do it if you play in their sandbox. And finally, if you didn't pay Zillow 1 red cent ever, 1 red cent on a sale between now and 2025, every house that was going to close is still going to close with or without Zillow. The question is, do you want your industry to be $3 billion lighter in the pocket? Well, that's it. You guys make it a great day, and I can't wait to see you until tomorrow. Later, skaters.